I'm like a firm believer. Like,
oh, I know from your Instagram posts.
Tell me what my personality is and I'll be it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even care who I am. Just tell me what you think I am and I will be that person. Welcome to another episode of RATz, Random Ass Thoughts with Kate
and Tebow,
where we unprofessionally discuss absolutely nothing of value to anyone.
These are unconvinced opinions of hypothetical topics and events that may or may not have passed through your mind.
And if you finish a whole episode and wonder, what the hell did I just listen to? Then we've done our jobs.
Welcome to RATz. All right, so let's get into it. No time wasted. Let's get a new topic.
Yes. Okay. No time wasted.
You said what? You were like, wait.
Yeah,
time wasted. That's what this entire podcast is about. It's about wasting time. What do you mean, no time wasted?
I was like, what are you saying? Okay, let's go. I'm going to spin the wheel. We know what we're doing.
Oh, but in case for people who don't know what we're doing, for people who just like tuning into episode 2, I guess we're like, yeah, you know, from episode 1, everybody listened. Where we have a list of some random topics that Kate has generously come up with, and we use a what is it like?
It's called a picker wheel.
A picker wheel, or to randomly pick a topic, and then we just talk about it. And these topics are very random in themselves, so it should be exciting. All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So we are on number 9. Lucky okay. Number 9. This is a fun one. The topic is, do you believe... No, okay, so maybe not do you believe. Like, what are your thoughts? What are our thoughts on personality tests and horoscopes?
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one. Personality tests and horoscopes. Okay.
The world is divided between two types of people. Right? And you have one side that's like, I absolutely believe in personality tests and horoscopes. Right. And the other side that's like, all of it is bull crap. Right.
I think well, I don't know. I feel like there's some balance in there in the middle, but so like personality tests and horoscope, I feel like those in themselves are different topics, because you have personality tests are also used for job applications and stuff. Yeah. Which I don't know if you saw that Netflix documentary, but it was really interesting about like the problem with personality tests and it's like the problem with personality tests and how companies hire, and the fact that so many companies use the same kind of strategy for hiring and the same platform and technology for hiring means that they end up favoring the same type of person. Right. And they use the same methodology in terms of the personality test to determine who that is. And it's really interesting to kind of see, but it kind of brought to question like, okay, are these personality tests accurate, or are they the bias of the person who creates it?
Okay, so now it's like, who even creates personality tests?
Yeah, well, there's a woman that created the biggest one, the Myers-Briggs, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's one woman? I thought that was like 2 people. So, Myers and Briggs.
Myers and Briggs? I don't know. So I'm trying to remember what they said so there was like, because they were going through this woman's journal from like way back when. This was a long time ago, and I guess she was the basis for it. But she had certain like thought processes that would be questionable in terms of applying them to everybody. So I don't know exactly where that comes from. Or who.
I honestly feel like horoscope is like the primary, right? Like, because you can take horoscopes and that. I don't know, what is that called? Astrology? Maybe that's what it's called. Like, you can take astrology and then you can make so many different derivatives from that. Because I'm like a firm believer. Like,
oh, I know from your Instagram posts.
Tell me what my personality is and I'll be it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even care who I am. Just tell me what you think I am and I will be that person. So I feel like of all the personality tests that I've taken, they're very consistent in the type of person that I am. Okay. And it all kind of like points to the North Star, which is astrology. You know,
Right.
it's like
Okay.
I've read my astrology, I've read my chart, and by all means, I'm not an expert, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you who I am, right? But I can point to my personality test, and that will explain it all to you.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like every other thing that I've taken that it's like, it's not astrology. This is based off of a questionnaire or whatever. This is based off of science.
Yeah.
It's like that all is in alignment with what my astrology says about me.
Okay. So question, have you ever just like tried to get the wrong results and see what that said and see if that applies to you too? Because my thing is like, so like in marketing, you want to try to make people feel like you're specifically talking to them, but you also know that what might make them feel like that applies to a lot of different people. So they'll feel special on their end, but the reality is you're talking to a large group of people, and there's a high chance that the majority of them, fit it. So that's why I feel with like astrology is like, okay, I mean,
so you feel like it will still count?
I feel like you could see yourself in a lot of different things. Like
Of
you could
course.
see yourself in,
Okay, so the whole thing about astrology is that it's like you have a little bit of everything in you, right? Like,
right.
So if you go by like the houses and you like the planets, I'm not just a Cancer, right? Like you wouldn't just be, what are you?
Sagittarius.
You wouldn't just be a Sagittarius. Like you're a Sagittarius in this instance, or, but in another instance, you could show up as a Libra, you know? So it's like you have all these different parts of the whole zodiac sign, and this is how you show up. So if you get deeper into it, it does turn into kind of like a nuanced, balanced dance.
Okay. But doesn't that mean you could create it to basically match whoever?
For sure, but
right.
But isn't that what they're doing?
Well, then,
like no one is exempt from a personality test. Everybody has a personality.
No, right? I know, I get that, but I'm saying like, doesn't it mean that I could probably create one for you that you'll be like, oh yeah, that's absolutely me, and then I can create one for like somebody else, and they'll see it the same thing, even if they're not born in the same time frame?
But don't you think like based off of the answers that I give you, it would generate that, right? So you're saying you could just make something up? No, because it would be wrong unless you know who I am. And you would know who I am based on
that's my
conversations
point.
and questions that...
But that's my point though. Like there's things that I feel like we all want to really feel like we're more unique than we are. And then when we come down to it, we can be described in very broad ways that make us feel like, oh yeah, that's me for sure. But is it really, or is it going to be anybody? Like with the other, because it's like movies, like everybody sees themselves in the main characters, right? And the main characters are written that way.
I mean, I don't see myself in every main character. So like sometimes when I read a profile of like a different personality than me, I'm not going to be like, yeah, that's me. You know?
Okay, well, that's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering, whether you see yourself. Because I did, what was the one, where is like the explorer, the I don't know, the visionary, the whatever, those ones?
The Enneagram, or you're like the helper, the servant. I'm like, the Enneagram?
Wow, you were like, I know that one. No, I don't know.
Pick me, what?
Hold on.
Yeah, where you're like, you are, yes, I think that's the Enneagram. No?
Is it? It could be. I'm not as well versed, as you are clearly in all of this.
What?
I got it. I feel like Aaron would know these too, but no, there's that one. There's also numerology, which is interesting.
That's like a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing. That feels like one of those magic tricks. Like, okay, pick number 6 card, and then shuffle them now. Pick number 3, and that's your card.
It's like it's like literally count the letters of your name. And then add them up with and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. And then for my name, for my first name, my grandmother made a mistake going when she's the one who went to City Hall in France to write my name. and my mom told her how to spell it in one way, but she spelled it in a different way, which added a letter. So then I'm like, okay, so what do I count?
What am I? Yeah,
what
exactly.
do I count?
No, that's so funny because, yeah, I mean, my mom is very superstitious and she will come up with the most random thing. She's like, oh my God, so-and-so was born on this day. And like my friend's daughter is also born on this day. And if you count them together, it makes 22 and 2 plus 2 is 4. And you're like, Mom, you have lost me. You have completely lost me. What are you even saying,
Yeah.
And she's like, 4 and 4 is like, means this thing, and you're like, no, now you're literally just making things up. Maybe that's the personality trait that I've
interesting.
taken from her, just
right?
making up random things.
No, but at the same time, okay, so from another perspective, does it matter? Like, does it matter if it's real, if you believe in it and you start to associate with it?
Yeah.
Does it matter if it went from that was you and you're just connecting with it, or that might not have been you, but now you're connecting with it and now you're trying to live that out? So
yes, you have, Matud he's skeptical, which is like typical Capricorn, right? So he likes to be all like, oh, I don't believe it. I'm like, I knew you were going to say that. I know that you don't believe in this stuff because you are a Capricorn. But but he's like, yeah, I just feel like that just puts you in a box, and it's like, it's a crux. And I'm like, I don't necessarily think it's a crux. I think it's good to know where you lean in terms of like how your personality is. And then you can just not justify it, but you can work with that, right? It's always good to know how you are. That's like 101 of self-awareness. It's like,
yeah, but then you see it on social and all it is like an excuse for your bad attitude. Be like, I can't help being an asshole because I'm whatever. And it's like,
sometimes we need that. Like, I'm all for it. Look, listen, I'm emotional because I'm a Cancer. I'm sitting here crying right now because that is in my nature, and you cannot tell me otherwise, But if I'm going to sit here and cry for days, then it's like, okay, maybe like let's put the little Cancer personality in a box.
Right. And try to figure this out.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
This might be something else, that might need to get looked at.
Maybe.
Okay. So you say, so since you're familiar with that, then me, as a Sagittarius, am I prone to believing in it or not?
So part of me knowing this is also that I only care about my own personality. I don't know a lot about Sagittarius, so I'm not going to speak on that. Okay. I feel like, I don't know.
No, this is the podcast to do it. You can literally speak on whatever the hell you want, whether we know about it or not.
Well, then I would say middle ground.
Okay.
I think like Sagittarius are a little middle ground. Maybe they believe in it fully. I don't know. What do you answer? You answer.
I answer.
Your Sagittarius people.
Oh, for my well, as the representative of all Sagittarius people,
yes,
officially recognized, I would say that I think that there is a logic behind these assessments, but I'm skeptical about the how simple. Or like, I'm skeptical about the approach of like, just based on your birthday or the number of letters in your name and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, the actual like personality profiles. But again, that would make sense because on the personality profiles is more mathematical than it is, ethereal. So I would kind of lean in that direction. But I also, in that documentary, I wish I could remember the name of it, but I also am I very much believe that the bent of the person that creates that thing is seen within it. Like you're what you value, what you
for sure
is going to be seen in it in some way. It doesn't come from zero. You can even look at, because there's nothing to base it on. You could take for instance, okay, all the people who have successfully gotten this job have this personality type. Okay, well, there's a lot of other factors that influence that. The time frame that was, all that kind of, so you can't really say that's the best personality type for that job.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like it all has flaws, but there's something to build off of, I guess.
I feel like when you said specifically about astrology being ethereal and not mathematical,
right?
Egyptians are rolling in their pyramids.
I'm sure in their pyramids with their protractors and their compasses. I'm sure they're like,
all of this is math. What are you talking about? Astrology is the beginning of all humankind.
Right. And I get that the extraction is mathematical, but I feel like the source, the core, is ethereal. And that's where I'm going with it, with like, okay, so yeah, how you got to it is mathematical, but the core of what you're basing it on is ethereal. And I question the link between the two. That's all.
And I feel like astrology people are like, that is a very Sagittarius answer.
That is the best way. That is the best way to end this discussion, is to say that's the best way to end any discussion about this. Right. That's so Sagittarius of you.
Yeah. Like if you're ever in a heated discussion, be like, brah, that is such a Libra thing to say. Of course you would say that. You know what I mean? Like
you have no other option but to say that.
Right. You're a Leo, right? Makes sense. Done. Mic drop.
Oh boy. Okay, so what's next?
Okay,
we've solved that thing. Take from it what you want.
All right. Did we ended nowhere, but that's totally fine. That's exactly what this is.
Oh, I disagree. I think we ended exactly where we needed to, and then it's up to the listeners to determine where to go next.
The stars have spoken.
There you go.
We need a drum roll for this section. 24.
24. All right, what we got?
24 makes it. Oh, this brings it back to language, kind of.
Okay.
So words that sound different and you can't unhear. So,
like what?
Okay, I'm going to start with the more friendlier one. So I teach yoga, and in yoga, there's like, sometimes there's this cue where you're like open to the side, right? Like open up to the side.
Okay.
And in my mind now, I can only hear open to the side, DECIDE. So you're open to the side.
Oh.
Okay. And it's like,
okay.
Now I can't unhear it. And every time I teach that specific cue, I'm like, open to the side? Yes, absolutely. We are totally open to the side, right? Like that's my choice. So it's like,
I don't even know where to go with this, Kate. I don't know where to go with it.
Okay, there's a popular meme on the internet that's like, oh, we have like, if you go outside of our house, you'll see that there's a big deck, right? So it's like, people can't unhear.
What? Wait. No, where are you going with this, Kate?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't unhear certain things. So, like, there's words that exist that once you make that connection, you're like, wow, I cannot unhear it. Sometimes when I count down in yoga, I count down 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1.
Okay.
And I didn't think that there was a problem with that until someone was like, why does Kate count so weird? Like, why does she count 4, like FOUR, 5?
Oh, wow. See, that's how I heard it too. I was just like, why are you counting 4 for every number? You mean like hold it for 5, hold it for 3 to 4. Okay, yeah. That definitely, I was just like, where is she trying to say 45? Is she counting down from 45? Because that's a weird way to do it.
No.
Okay.
So now every time I count down like that, I'm like, whoa, yeah, how many people are also thinking this same thing? And here I am just like thinking that I'm doing something cool, you know?
Well, it's like I guess it's a verbal version of that picture. Do you see like a rabbit or what is it? A rabbit or
oh yeah, or no,
a duck.
Actually, yes, there's like laurel or dress or something, right?
Oh, yeah, what was that one? That one was laurel or something else.
Hold on, let me look it up.
That one was
laurel.
That one, the dress thing. I think you're mixing up the blue and gold dress with like Laurel and
Yeah, Laurel or Yanni.
Yanni. Yeah, that's trippy though. But have you ever listened to one of those and been able to make yourself hear the other one?
No. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
I like how convinced you were. Just no.
I'm like,
Well,
maybe. If I feel like if my brain would, if that's something that you could do, because it's like the same thing as like the wheel is spinning in this direction, but you can make it spin in the other direction.
Yeah. So I did that, but then it's hard to go back.
Oh, so once you like, you can only switch your mind that many times.
I don't know. I guess so. Yeah. Like once I switched it once, I had a hard time going back to what like I originally heard.
So then when that is a thing, that might happen to a lot of other things, right? Like if you make up your mind, you can only make up your mind twice. And that's it. Okay. Now you're stuck.
Okay.
Now you can't go back.
See, this is a beginning of a new theory. We're going to call them RATz theory. And we determined that you can only change your mind once. So be very careful what you change your mind to. Oh, twice.
You change it twice, right? Because okay, let's like take Laurel or Yanni.
I feel like this is a math problem, Kate, and I don't know if you're succeeding at it. So go ahead and explain.
Look, listen. Okay, hold on. I might not. So Laurel or Yanni, your mind is open, right?
Okay.
So I now hear Laurel because that's the first thing I hear.
Right.
But I can switch to Yanni because that's what I can do. That's
right.
One. And then you can switch back, or you say you can't switch back?
No, I'm saying I can't switch back.
Okay, so then yeah, that's just one. It's just one time. Sorry. Two
thoughts, one switch.
I was going to give people a little bit more grace here, but yeah, I guess you can only change your mind once.
Yeah, so I mean, people be aware. Be aware that you can only change your mind once. So probably the safest thing to do is to not change your mind. So you always have that option, but you just never use it.
Until you need to. But you know what though? Like I'm actually going to put this theory to test.
Okay.
I'm going to try to figure out like, I feel like this is so stupid because people are like, obviously you can change your mind multiple times. I'm not talking about ice cream flavors. I'm talking about actual convinced thoughts that I have.
Yeah, like I mean that you know? That's it's called oh man, something elasticity. Not neural elasticity, but anyway, it's like the ability for our brains to adapt to new things. And like with age, for most people, it starts to get harder and harder to adapt to most things. But like when you're younger, you don't really have as many fixed ideas. So it's easier for you to kind of adapt. And you're like in the rhythm of it too, because you're constantly learning. Whereas in age, a lot of people just stop learning. So they're not like in the habit of learning something new anymore. So they're looking for how that new thing fits into their existing. So they don't want to change. So that's where that, maybe with age, you can only change one time.
And I'm not saying like do it, right? I think you can do many actions, but like your core belief system, maybe you can only change it once.
That would be, I don't know.
Look, I'm doing this thing, but I hate it. And I don't believe in it, but I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. Well, like if somebody had like an extreme belief and then they switched away from that extreme belief and then they went back to it.
Can you do that? I don't think they can do that. I think you're, I actually think you can't. Like think about, talk about people who believe in a certain belief system.
Right.
And then in their 20s or whatever, they choose to stray away, or they're like, look, I no longer believe this. It doesn't align with me. I'm choosing to believe this other thing.
Right.
I don't think that they can ever go back to believing their old thing. I mean, I think that they're going to still maybe be accepting of it, but I don't think that they're going to be able to change back.
It's like you can never unknow something, right? Is that your point?
Kind of, yeah, maybe.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can see that. You might never not be able to unknow it, but maybe you can change the way you see what you now know.
I'm convinced now that we're scientists.
Yes. Oh, like, I mean, I think so. I mean, this podcast. I mean, we have to change the name of it, because now we're getting way more in depth into things. So to not do that too far, I think we should really get a palate cleanser and go to something current event. Last time I brought up the Harry and Kate thing. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Yes, I have actually. I just finished the first installment of that. And I like it. I think so. I always like to go to the possible extreme thought of something that is the most untrue, but could potentially be the truth, right? So my thing was like, what if it's all fake? What if they are part of? What if they're part of this, like, you know, the conspiracy theory of like the monarchy and everything as like they're part of the world order? And so it's like, what if they literally told Harry, you're going to marry this American princess who just happens to be filming this show in Canada, which is part of like the British. I mean, I think they have a connection, right? And we're just going to play out this narrative to make the population believe X, Y, Z. And yeah, that's my untrue thought.
That's wow. That's a lot.
It's wild.
That is. I feel like we throw you a topic and then you take it to some place that I really never expect you to take it. We're like, it was just an interview. Oh, now we're talking about world order. And, oh, okay, wow. Okay, so here's my thought on that type of orchestration that you're talking about.
It's insane.
Well, not just that. I think about it this way. Like, you know, people talk about these groups of people all getting together and orchestrating it, and nothing leaks. I'm like, does anybody have a family of more than 3 people that have gotten along well enough to maintain that kind of structure? Like,
for sure.
No, you're never going to maintain that type of structure without somebody dissenting and being like, forget this crap. Like, it's just not going to happen. So to the monarchy point, I don't know that that's the I was talking more like just, you know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, like, look, listen, I and 100%, like, I don't believe this.
Right. Okay.
Like, this thing that I just threw out into this world, I don't believe it. I'm just saying, like, what if? Like, what is the extreme thought that you can think?
Right. Got you.
Regarding this whole situation. No, I think it's nice to watch, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's fun to hear a different side of the story. And it's like, what do we believe? Like, what can we believe in these days? Nothing. So if you can't believe anything, then it's like, that's cool for him to be able to, like, live their life now.
Yeah.
Kind of like unbothered, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so Erin brought up like an interesting point. She was just like, initially she was just like, well, come on, you were worried about, you know, landing on your feet. Yet the name that you have, you got friends with money, like, you'll be all right. And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I was thinking about it from like, if I was in that position, to know for sure that everything was going to be all right is very different when you're in it than when you're just like observing it. Because, like, yeah, you have friends with money and stuff, but like, imagine, like, even after watching some of the stuff like that her and her friends went through, imagine asking your friends to go through that kind of stuff. Like, anybody that you ask for help is going to get scrutinized like crazy. Like, their trashes are going to get dug through. They're like everything. It's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know if I'd want to reach out to too many friends and be like, oh yeah, like, help me out. And, oh, by the way, I come with like this shitstorm of all this press and PIs that are going to go through your stuff. Wait. And, you know.
Now I'm thinking, I'm like, were we watching the same thing?
Yeah.
What help did they ask? What help do they need? So
like, initially, I guess it was a statement about like, they didn't know how they were going to make money. Because they were cut off. So initially they didn't know where they were going to do, what they were going to do. So they had some money, obviously, but you know, but like, then it's like immediately, okay, you're cut out. You got to figure something out. You got to figure out where to go. Yeah, you could ask anybody, but even like it was crazy when we heard that her mom's neighbors were paid to put cameras
Oh
on
yeah, yeah,
their
yeah.
house facing her house.
Yeah.
Like
Isn't it crazy?
that's like just something that like wow, that's next level.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought to be like, oh yeah, let's pay the neighbors to
Yeah.
and then you feel like everybody's against you. That's crazy.
I mean, for me, I just feel like, we have a lot of time because we talk about all this random stuff.
Right.
To go to that level, it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, it's just an entirely different mindset to have to do something like that, right?
Yeah.
And to know that you're not necessarily adding a positive value to another person's life. Like, it's just like vultures.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
I also think like I believe that they're still living, like the house that they're currently living in is still belongs to the family.
Does it? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I'm
you know what? This is RATz. We can just say it.
I don't know. We're just saying thoughts here, okay? I have no idea. What do you think?
I don't know. I thought, don't they live next to Oprah or something?
I literally don't know. I have no idea. I watched this show and that's why I was like, were we watching the same thing? Because I didn't think about like they're asking their friends for help or anything. But I get, yeah. I mean, you would have to, to make this documentary, they had to ask their friends to speak on their behalf.
Yeah, not just that, but like I was talking about just alone, like the moment you get cut off from your family over here, you get cut off from the money too. So
yeah, but I think they have their own, like in the meantime, they have a lot of money, period. Like they're not saying like, hey, can I sleep on your couch? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, but yes, but a lot of money is relative because they also need security and all this kind of stuff. Because like it's not like oh, I'm just famous and I need security. This is like you're as famous as can be in the world. Like that's built in. So your built-in like cost of life is much higher than anybody else than ours would be.
I think that their exit was also strategically done. Like, I think that when he was like, hey, I'm cutting myself, it wasn't like a phone call and he's like, Grandma, I'm done.
Right.
I think like he had to sit with counsel and they had to figure out like, how is this going to work? Like, how are you, you know what I mean?
Because
I think it was more very much organized.
Okay.
It's like, okay, on this day, we're going to announce your exit. Like, I don't think that it was like the way that regular folk like us would have a discussion at home at the dinner table and then it's like, I'm leaving. You know what I mean?
I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm leaving. It's done. I'm done with this family. I don't think it's like that. I think it was very much not staged. Like there was a level of, okay, this is stage 1 of your exit. This is stage, because they had a lot of different responsibilities too.
Right.
You know? So I think he was like, hey, Grandma, I would like to talk to me and Megan, you know?
I love the reenactment. I want Kate, I want you to go from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen and reenact Harry talking to the queen.
His grandmother, make a skit. I think that's how it went. And then they were like, all right, well, let's just consult counsel, because I think they have counsel, right? And so they sat and now they're sitting in a boardroom and it's a whole decision of like,
what's on the walls? What do they have for dinner? What's going on? I want to paint the picture.
Well, that we have to talk to their like private chef, right? Because I think they have a whole catering company that like has their whole meal plan, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think that's how it goes. It's not like us where we're just like, I'm just going to call my mom real quick and I'm going to tell her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So that's the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary opinion.
Okay.
I think like, are we introducing a new current event?
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
The most current of current events, this happened yesterday or maybe the day before.
Oh, wow.
Are those notes on Instagram.
Oh, Instagram adding notes?
The away messages. What are they? What is this?
What it is status updates from Facebook circa 19 whatever.
Right.
So like but the one I love the most is the it's not in the US yet, but they're testing it. they're the what do they call them? They're reels that you can only see that like are taken from the front and the back camera in real time.
Like, be real.
Exactly that. Exactly that. And like what I love is watching the CEO talk about these features and like keep a straight face when you literally just take the exact app and you put it into your app. And
this is this just a snapshot picture, or it's literally like if you're recording yourself in a video and now you see the people in front of you?
No, it's a picture. It's the same as Be Real.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the exact same as Be Real.
Groundbreaking. Groundbreaking announcement.
Right. So they're testing it in like 3 different markets, 3 different countries. And I'm like, somebody in the comments said, "Oh, you really missed the opportunity to call it Be Real."
Right. Literally.
Like without the E.
And what about it is real? The fact that I don't have time to move things out of my screen. You know what I mean? Like now, rather than just cleaning this back area, I have to also clean this front area.
You can also see the window. And then I don't know, like Be Real, like I got on it and like I spent almost no time on it. You know, I know so since I work with some high schoolers for in basketball, like some of them are on it, but even that, like, I don't know how. It's so insular. Like, there's no way to kind of break out from you and I. So I'm like, I might as well just send you a text, or like we can do a group text or something. I don't know. So
and I also feel like a lot of teenagers have Snapchat, right? So it's like you could just like, why do I need to update you on this app, and on this app? Like, it's too much.
Yeah,
you know. And I mean, that might be their thought process with Instagram. They're like, yeah, exactly. So that's why we're giving it to you on Instagram.
Right, exactly. So I mean, that's fine, but like, it's just the complete, like, you're gonna say it without even noting. But for notes, I don't know. I mean, what's it?
How would they say it? Like, hey, so just letting you know, we absolutely stole this idea of this other app. And we're just letting you know, heads up.
I don't know. Like, you know, you guys really like the Be Real app, so we're incorporating that functionality into ours. I mean,
right.
Like,
that's true.
I don't know.
That's
it's
true.
Similar to you know, I don't know if a restaurant finds out that people really like, I don't know, some item on the menu, and we're like, well, we're going to serve it too. Toast. Yeah, we're going to serve it too. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some legal thing on the back end where they don't want to admit
they can't just
anything.
Be that transparent.
Right. But at the same time, I mean, it's the exact same feature. You just described the app. So I don't know. And then the other, I don't know. Have you done notes yet on Instagram?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I did it in the millennial way, where I did like the squiggly and the asterisk, and then I put away.
Wow.
And
that is Sienna, way past me.
Sienna you don't know MSN Messenger away statuses?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, good for you then.
I live in 2022, so
look, listen, it's like when you tell people about TikTok and they're like, what's that? Okay, I know. Okay, yes, feel good about yourself. Thank you for making me feel like shit. No, but I did the MSN, because it's kind of like MSN Messenger, AOL Messenger, away messages. Yeah. And so I did it in the aesthetic of like old millennial 90s kid. And Sienna, who is my 13-year-old, for those of you who obviously, you know, wouldn't know, she was like, huh? And I was like, it's an MSN Messenger thing you wouldn't know. And she's like, oh, okay. And what was I answering? If I did it? Yes, I did it. Okay. That's what I did. That's what I did. That's what I did. Yeah.
Well, so I have no clue about the squiggly line. And 2, that might have been a girl thing, like that. You know, you'd have the.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Like, why would you put a skirt? That makes sense.
I put little squiggly lines and flowers, and then I say, "Hey, I'm currently going to the bathroom. I'll be back," or BRB. squiggly line flowers. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
probably not in my demo for that. But yeah, I don't know what the point of that is exactly, or
Yeah.
what, I don't know. I mean, eh, so whenever there's a new app or anything, I'm on it. Like, I'll get on it and I'll
Yeah.
test it out. I want to see what the technology is. I want to see how people
Yeah.
are using and all that kind of stuff. But certain ones I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get on board with that. But other ones I'm like, no,
Yeah.
this doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I was on Be Real for a little bit. Didn't like it. Honestly, it was a little bit too Like, don't demand that I only have 2 minutes to make a. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Like, whoa,
know?
like chill
Yeah,
out. Now
like
all of a
chill
sudden I'm getting
out.
told what to do by my social
Literally,
platform.
right. And it was like inconvenient times, like 2 a.m. What am I doing? I'm sleeping. That's what I'm doing.
Two
And
black
then
screens, all right? You're just going
right,
to see two black
that's
screens.
it.
It's
That's
dark in here.
and maybe not. Maybe you'll see a ghost. I don't know. But and then I tried notes and I like it. I mean, do I like it? Yeah, I think I like it. It's fine.
Hey, make up your mind, because you only get one chance.
I get it once. I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay, you only get one chance to change your mind. So you better make sure the first one's a good one.
That's it. I like it.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's a perfect place to end it for
Yeah.
that's the as they say, that's the pod.
That's episode 2.
All right.
We're pros now.
Absolutely. I mean, we might as well have been doing this for like 3 years. So we will see you. Thank you for hanging out with us and getting your mind relaxed by our nonsense.
Yeah, for sure.
And we will see you next week.
See you next week.